Welcome back into Battlehawks Hub Weekly. My name is Luke Slabaugh, and I love St. Louis, and I'm joined by the wonderful #1 Battlehawks fan, Judy Strawder. Judy, 1-0, heading into a game against San Antonio. How we feeling?
Thrilled, excited. I can't wait to see what we're going to do. Especially, I can't wait to see the dome and all the updates. And yeah, I'm super excited. Just a few more days.
Just a few more days. We're very excited, and we have a very special guest that we want to bring on right off the top. He is the GM for the San Antonio Brahmas. You might have heard of him, 25 plus years in pro football and a St. Louisan through and through. We're talking about Mark Lilli-bridge. It's great to get to know you and make your acquaintance. How does it feel making the trek back home to St. Louis?
You know what? It's always cool. This league is, of course, we have our rivalries and we have our teams. And, I've worked in the XFL side. We worked for Houston the first year. And then, when they merged the leagues, they moved us over to San Antonio. But I have an affinity for St. Louis just for the fact that, I was part of the group and the contingent that brought the Battlehawks to St. Louis in 2020. I was running the Lou Fuse facility and got to go out to New York and be a part of that group with Oliver Luck and Vince McMahon. Representing St. Louis. And so it's cool to be able to come back to the Dome. It's cool that there's football back in St. Louis. And, no matter what side I'm on, I'll always be a St. Louian. And I'm excited to have these, fill the Dome, man. Have football fans come out. And we got to, play there twice last year or 3 times last year. And we'll get to do it 2 more times this year. And hopefully we'll get another, get a third one. But we'll see what happens.
So when you get to come back to the Dome and see the fans in St. Louis, how does that make you feel?
Well, I think it's really cool because I do think the 2 biggest fan bases for our league are San Antonio and St. Louis. And, St. Louis, I think it was initially, I think, just to kind of stick it to Kroenke to prove to him that St. Louis is a football town. And then I think that they've really kind of bought into the Battlehawks, and I think they've really bought into the whole the team and representing what it means to have football back in St. Louis again. And they've had sustained success showing up and building this league. I mean, it's what every time we have a league meeting, they talk about, we got to have fans like St. Louis. And you have to have the fans that show up every game. And so that's a testament to the people of St. Louis. That's a testament to, football fans just in the Midwest in general. But it's a cool feeling. And it's cool. The energy is loud. No matter what side you're on, it's cool. If you're the villain or if you're the home team, they bring the juice and I know they'll bring it again this Sunday.
You touched on a really good point that it is important for these non-NFL smaller markets. Your Birmingham, your San Antonio, your St. Louis really need to embrace this in order for the league to thrive. I want to pivot to your role as a GM. We're hearing about the empowering of the GM at the NFL level and the power of the executive there. But what are the challenges for you in assembling these teams in such a truncated season?
Yeah, it's really cool. We work year round, and so a lot of the staffs are seasonal, the employees are seasonal, but it's really cool for us as GMs. Dave Bowler is the GM for St. Louis, and he's a longtime NFL executive, longtime personnel guy. He's phenomenal at what he does. He's worked at the college level. And, you're starting to see that, Luke, to that point, you're starting to see the college level starting to get GMs and front office, built the same way. And for us, it's a little bit different because we're the only personnel that we have. Like I don't have an assistant. I don't have anybody that helps me with the scouting. Our coaches will, assist when they're, on the clock and when they're under contract. But for the most part, year round, it's just us kind of, trusting our history and trusting our opinions and finding the right player. So it makes it a little bit difficult, but I think it's as the league has continued to evolve and as the show in the spring football is viable, I think a lot of the players, a lot of agents are saying, "Hey, man, this is a really cool. We don't have to worry about it folding again because of COVID, or we don't have to. It's proven that it's here." And so I think that's we talk about expansion in 2026 as a league. It makes it a little bit easier because there's players that maybe 2 years ago, when we were just in the XFL, they wouldn't have played here because they weren't sure if this was a real opportunity. Now those guys are calling us saying, "Hey, I would love to come and be a part of the UFL." So it makes it a little bit easier to do our job. That also being said, it's still spring football, and we still got to try to find the best guys. And and be competitive. And hopefully, my goal is to get these guys all back to the NFL. That's what I want to do. I want them to help win games, but if we're doing it this right way, it's a league that is helping give people opportunities and then get them back to the NFL, which I think all of these guys, want that opportunity.
You were talking about, making spring football, viable. How do you guys do it there in San Antonio to try to bring the fan base there and, grow your fan base so that way it is like St. Louis's?
I think that's a great question, Judy. I think it's when, in 2020, right, the teams were in market, right? So it's just a little bit easier to kind of really be with the fans, kind of do some more, game day things, do some things during the week, some events. And I think that's one of the challenges for our league is trying to get the teams into market. So we've really done that. We did a fan event a couple weeks ago down in San Antonio where we spent the day, at a place called the Pearl. And we really had a lot of fan engagement. But I think that's going to be, I would continue to push the league, and I think we're working on it. Maybe that's having a couple days of training camp in market, right? I mean, could you imagine going out for you guys, if you got to be able to have like the Rams when you get to watch practice right out at Rams Park, right? It was kind of fun to be able to do that with the Battlehawks and kind of get to know those players a little personal. So I think the league is we see that. I think that's viable. It's a matter of, of course, it's always going to be about the finances, but I think there's ways to be able to get sponsorship dollars to be able to support that. And so I think it's something we had on the books to do in San Antonio this year. Unfortunately, it fell through just with the way the timing was. But I think now that we have a year and kind of know, hey, this is something that could happen, and I look forward to doing that in 2026. And I think that will really, if you can have 1,000 people or 2,000 people, come out and watch practice, now all of a sudden you kind of feel a part of the team as opposed to just waiting for them to come to a game. So there's a lot of great ideas in the UFL. There's a lot of really good football minds. And I think if we continue to build that up and really make it about the fans and make it about the players, I think it's got a really, really good chance of longevity.
You had mentioned the challenges of advanced scouting. You wore that cap with the Packers many seasons ago and have been involved in the NFL. Now, through the lens of the United Football League and helping players achieve their dreams of breaking into the NFL again or getting back, how has the apparatus changed in order to evaluate these players at a different level of play?
I tell you what, like Pro Football Focus has really helped just with to be able to the access to film and to be able to have it so quickly. There's the metrics have changed. I mean, when I was coming up, in this, there really wasn't the analytical side. I mean, there was, but it wasn't to the level it is now. And I think the game's always evolving. And I always try to find the most creative ways and in the cutting edge ways to be able to help these guys. But when it's all said and done, and I don't care to what level you get to, if that's from your Harvard education to MIT or wherever else, it really comes down to the players doing the basics, right? I mean, can they tackle? Can they hit? Can they catch? And, we can kind of come up with all the best schemes and we can do all this stuff. It's still, man versus man and let's go and the best guy will win. And I think that is tried and true. It's been proven that way. So I really try to find guys that have, that football means something to them when I'm scouting them. I still try to, evaluate the heart. And I love smart players, right? Because smart players get better because they always want to get better because they want to learn. And so, I think that's society is that way too. I hope, right? If you're smart, you're trying to get better in life, right? You're going to get better because you're disciplined and you want to achieve it. So it's, I think there's a lot of metrics that go into finding good players and helping them get to the NFL. But I think a lot of it is there's still something said for effort and want to. And I really work hard to find those guys when I'm interviewing them or talking to them. Let's see who is who can come out of this and ultimately use this as a platform to get to their dreams of playing in the NFL.
Yeah. How is it having Wade Phillips as your head coach? I mean, he's a legend.
Yeah, that's Judy. I mean, you're kidding me. His office is literally right through the wall here, and I pinch myself all the time because when this happened, I played for him in Buffalo in 1996. I was there for training camp, right? So it was a short window. I mean, I joke with him. He doesn't remember me because I wasn't there long enough to really be remembered. And I didn't have this gorgeous dome of non-hair. So it was, but it was cool. It's great every day because he is such a legend, especially in Texas. He is such a friend to the players. The players appreciate him. He is a players coach through and through. And so you want to win for a guy like that, right? Because he's still sharp. He still understands defense. He's maybe the greatest defensive mind of all time. I mean, he helped invent a lot of the terminology we use in the game today. He's the godfather of the 3-4 defense, and all the guys he's coached that are Hall of Famers, from Bruce Smith to Reggie White to Ricky Jackson to J.J. Watt to Aaron Donald to Von Miller to DeMarcus Ware. I mean, that's just the pass rushers that we're talking about. That's not even talking about linebackers and DBs. He's been phenomenal, and it's God bless me with a great opportunity to work with him, and I thank him every day that I get this opportunity.
When you talk about him being an advocate for the players, it was really cool because last year he was a huge advocate for Hakeem Butler, and he said, if they don't notice you, I'm going to talk to people, I've got your back.
Yeah, he does that for a lot of people, and he means it. He cares about the players, and for him, it's always all about the players. And so it's cool when he recognizes that talent. But are you kidding me, man? Hakeem Butler is a guy from my alma mater, Iowa State. So I'm a huge Iowa State guy. But to be able to be Hakeem Butler and have a guy like Wade Phillips, give you props like that, I mean that's rare air, man. And I teased Wade. I said, hey, if you could, promote me like that, that'd be great. Pretty cool deal.
All right. We're Mark Lilli-bridge. We know you got a busy day ahead. Want to thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to seeing you in the team on Sunday. Well,
I appreciate it. God bless, man. Let's just have a good game. And, I appreciate you Battlehawks fans for coming out. I know it's a fun, friendly rivalry, and I always want them to have success, just not against me.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, your fans are awesome. I tailgate, and I have great pictures, great times, great memories with the Brahma fans.
It's cool, man. I appreciate that, Judy, and I appreciate our fans, and I just appreciate fans in general, man. It's just, what, you guys help pay the bills and help make this league viable, and God bless you, because it allows some players to get great opportunities that they wouldn't have had if it wasn't for the fans showing up and buying tickets and coming out and supporting them.
All right. Take care, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sports Hub STL is presented to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Battlehawks coverage also sponsored by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Take a look at that St. Louis Battlehawks box. Only $8.99. You can get 4 chicken breast strips and potato wedges, plus save up to 30% on tickets while supplies last. Tickets starting at $14 on DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits, better payouts, bigger wins only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Someone we can always bet on. He has been patiently waiting. Chris Payton-Jones joins the show, cornerback for the St. Louis Battlehawks. 1-0, coming home to face the San Antonio Brahmas. And Chris, what are you looking forward to the most about playing in the Dome one more time?
What I'm looking forward to the most is seeing the fans, feeling the energy in that stadium. I'm excited. I can't wait for that.
I can't wait for that. It's awesome because when you guys get on the field, it's like a mutual thing. Like, we pump you up, you guys pump us up. Like, it's incredible. I'm so excited. Like, I got my flag ready. I got my flare. I got the beach ball to bring. So I cannot wait to see you on Sunday.
I can't wait. I really can't wait.
So the secondary against Houston, we saw some success in the short passing game, and you'll probably see it from Kellen Mond and the Brahmas on Sunday, Quinterio Cole and Lucas Dennis with interceptions. What's been working in that unit's favor?
I would say just the chemistry. All these guys, we have returning guys that were here before, me and Q got here. So I just think it's just the chemistry. Everybody, has been in the system. And I mean, I can't, say it enough. Just the chemistry. Every day going to practice, we learning everybody. Everybody learns the other person. So when we in the game, it's easy to, look to your right and look to your left and know that this person, he got your back.
I will tell you, watching you guys on Friday was explosive. Yeah, offense, drove a lot, but defense to me stole the game. It was really impressive, the performance you guys put on Friday night.
Yes, ma'am. We got to follow up with that one.
Oh, again, only 3 more days. I can't wait.
This would probably be framed as a revenge game against San Antonio, given the playoff loss a season ago, but the makeup of that team is a little bit different. In terms of advanced scouting and preparation, what all do you have to work with as you look forward to this game against the Brahmas?
I mean, like you said, it's a new team. They're led by a different quarterback, so going into this game, you have to make sure you just hone in and lock into the details of really the game plan of what coach says, and then as far as like watching film, you have to lock into what are they doing now, who are they moving around now because of new guys that came in. Like a lot of people are in different places, so you really just got to hone into to the new kinks, and you gotta work it out. Like of course we watched the game last week that they had, but we know that they're a way better team than that. So um, we just have to be prepared in all areas of the game.
Now, we've got the new turf. How do you feel about the new turf? Are you loving it?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm eager to go try it out when we get there. So I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, and they
We
say
just
new
had
lighting too. They say it's going to be bright. It's going to be lit up.
Oh, I mean, if hey, however it is, I mean, I'm all for it. I can't wait.
we had just had the GM of the San Antonio Brahmas, Mark Lilli-bridge, on, and he was really touting the ability to build up players, help them achieve their dreams, and get back into the NFL. This organization as well, the Battlehawks, has done that, whether it's Hakeem getting another shot or AJ McCarron. You've played in the league. What does this organization do to develop players into more NFL ready players?
The organization just helps with opportunity. Everybody is not granted an opportunity to go to the NFL right after college. So to be able to continuously play, work your craft, and to have film, that's a great opportunity. So this league is just providing that opportunity for players to get film out there to show that they can play on the biggest stages, and hopefully NFL teams look and grab these guys no matter who they are and give them that opportunity so they can showcase themselves.
Now, I know that it's early in the season, but are you guys, planning and preparing for a postseason to bring us home a championship?
That's what we have in mind. We want to win it all. That's we won a championship. We came up short last year, but we won a championship. So I know for a fact that we just got to take every game every week, one game at a time, and every game is a championship game to us.
Like that.
Back-to-back 7-3 seasons for the St. Louis Battlehawks. I'll let you out on this. You mentioned Chris wanting to be back with the fans and celebrating with them and seeing the new turf and display there at the Dome. Now, in your second season with St. Louis, what specifically has stood out to you about the crowds and the fanfare in St. Louis?
One thing for sure, it makes me feel like I'm back in college again, especially at Nebraska with 96,000 fans every game. The fans show up for us. They're there, and it's like no other team in the spring league. So for the fans to show up and then to show up in that multitude and to be as electric and excited to see football, and I mean that's just amazing, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah. It's And that's so cool. And then I'll tell you, it's hearing you say things like that helps keep me dedicated. My it's unwavering. I know you guys have long days on game days, but when we're at home, long days for the fans too, because we get out there 3-6 hours before the game even starts, and just counting down the minutes until we get to go in and watch a great game.
Most definitely. I know it definitely be long, especially them night games. It'd be a long day.
All right. Well, Chris Payton-Jones, want to thank you for your time. Best of luck in your preparation, and see you Sunday as you and the St. Louis Battlehawks look to take down the San Antonio Brahmas.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
What a great guy. All right. Kickoff Sunday, 5:30 on FS1. Judy, final thoughts before we wrap things up and bring this one home.
I keep saying it because I just can't wait. I'm so excited to see the dome and see the changes. It's been so hyped up that I can't wait for that. But really, I mean, they came out so explosive on Friday. I can't wait to see what we're going to do at home against a team that, that we lost to last year. For to go to the big game. So I definitely cannot wait to see what's going to happen on Sunday.
St. Louis Battlehawks offense coming off a game in which they set a league record 273 rushing yards. May need to throw the ball a little bit more, but Manny Wilkins, 17 of 22 for 189 last year. In the 2024 campaign, Battlehawks fans averaged 33,677 over 6 total contests, and Judy Straughter is going to be one of them at the Dome on Sunday. So I want to say thank you all for joining us for this edition of Battlehawks Hub Weekly, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. And before we go, Judy, do you want to give me a caw-caw? Because it is the law.
It is. Caw-caw!